Have you ever wondered how a military general seized the reins of a nation, setting the stage for his empire? Let's rewind to the late 18th century, to a France steeped in political turmoil. The Directory, a five-man committee, is struggling to maintain control in the face of economic difficulties, widespread corruption, and public disillusionment. This is the backdrop against which our story unfolds. Enter Napoleon Bonaparte, a charismatic military general fresh from his campaign in the Middle East. His reputation as a victorious leader has already begun to precede him, and he finds an ally in Emmanuel Joseph Sieyès, a prominent political figure disillusioned with the Directory's incompetence. Sieyès, seeing the potential in Napoleon's military prowess and popularity, initiates a daring plan to replace the Directory. Together they begin to weave a web of political intrigue aimed at overthrowing the Directory and establishing a new form of government. Sieyès envisioned a system where power would be concentrated in the hands of a select few, a system he believed would bring order to the chaotic French Republic. Napoleon, on the other hand, saw an opportunity to use this plan to his advantage, to ascend to a position of unrivaled power. The alliance between Sieyès and Napoleon, though born out of mutual dissatisfaction with the Directory, was one of convenience rather than shared ideals. For Sieyès, Napoleon was a tool to achieve political reform. For Napoleon, Sieyès was a stepping stone to supreme power. As the sun began to set on the 17th of Brumaire, the wheels of their audacious plan were slowly beginning to turn. Little did the French populace know their world was about to be dramatically altered. As the sun rose on the 18th of Brumaire, an audacious plan was set into motion. The day had come, the stage was set, but how does one execute a coup? Well, in the case of the coup of 18 Brumaire, the first step was to persuade the directors to step down. This was no easy task. The directors held significant power, yet their resignation was crucial in setting the stage for the coup. The resignation was not a result of force, but rather a clever manipulation of the political climate. With the directors out of the picture, the next step was to appoint a compliant commission. This commission was tasked with drafting a new constitution, one that would conveniently provide Napoleon with greater power. The commission was carefully selected to ensure their loyalty and their willingness to support the coup's goals. But the execution of the coup was not without resistance. The councils, initially taken aback by the audacity of the coup, started to push back. They were not ready to give up their power without a fight. This resistance, however, was met with an even stronger force: Napoleon's military power. Napoleon, a seasoned military leader, knew that the success of the coup hinged on his ability to assert his authority. And so he did. Napoleon deployed his troops, using his military prowess to quash the resistance and assert his dominance. The Council of 500 was a particularly stubborn entity. They even attempted to declare Napoleon an outlaw. This, however, was where Lucien Bonaparte stepped in. Lucien, Napoleon's brother, intervened on behalf of Napoleon, ordering the troops to expel the deputies and quell the resistance. And with that, the councils were disbanded. The coup was a success. The execution had been swift and calculated, and the councils had been effectively removed from the equation. In a swift and calculated move, the councils were disbanded, making way for a new era. With the councils disbanded, the path was clear. But what ensued in the aftermath of the coup? In the wake of the coup, the French consulate was quickly established, marking a distinct shift away from the Directory. The ancients, in their last act, passed a decree appointing 3 provisional consuls: Napoleon Bonaparte, Emmanuel Joseph Sieyès, and Roger Ducos. This triumvirate was to lead France into its next chapter. But among these 3, one figure stood out: Napoleon Bonaparte. His strategic maneuvers during the coup had positioned him at the helm of this new political structure. Napoleon, seizing the opportunity, began to consolidate his power. A new constitution was drafted, one that would further increase his authority. It was a deft move, one that would bolster his position as the first consul of France. This constitution, aptly named the Constitution of the Year 8, was quickly adopted. It granted Napoleon the power to appoint ministers, generals, civil servants, magistrates, and even members of the legislative assemblies. In essence, it gave him control over the entire French government. But how did the French public react to this sudden shift in power? Amazingly, they welcomed it. The French people, weary from years of revolution and political instability, yearned for a firm hand to guide them. They saw in Napoleon a figure of stability, a beacon of order amidst the chaos. The coup was met with little resistance as the French populace, for the most part, embraced this new era of leadership. The coup of 18 Brumaire was more than just a power grab. It was the beginning of a new chapter in French history. It was the dawn of the Napoleonic era, an era that would see France rise to unprecedented heights, with Napoleon Bonaparte at its helm. The coup within a coup had not only ended the Directory, but had also paved the way for the rise of the First French Empire. This was the aftermath of 18 Brumaire, a day that would forever change the course of French history. The coup of 18 Brumaire was more than just a power grab. It was the beginning of a new chapter in French history. The effects of the coup were far-reaching, forever altering France and the world beyond. The coup of 18 Brumaire not only marked the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte, but it also paved the way for the First French Empire. This brought about a new era of French dominance in Europe, influencing politics, culture, and society far beyond France's borders. Moreover, this event also set a precedent for future political upheavals. Notably, Napoleon III, inspired by his uncle's audacious power grab, orchestrated a similar coup in 1851, further shaping France's political landscape. Perhaps most intriguingly, the coup of 18 Brumaire has been the subject of profound analysis. The radical thinker Karl Marx, for instance, dissected these events in his work, The 18th Brumaire of Louis Bonaparte. Through this, he offered a lens into the political dynamics of the time, highlighting the role of class struggle and the propensity for history to repeat itself, albeit in different forms. The echoes of the 18 Brumaire coup still reverberate through the annals of history, reminding us of the day when a general became a ruler,